This shit is just playing without me knowing, bruh. What the hell? Uh, the hell, bro. I wrote all or nothing. Energy or energies I release returns in the form of my environment. I'm gonna just start with that one. I noticed that it's something crazy when I go through a certain scenario. I have these little glimpses, or not, like these moments. Well, where once I release whatever's going on with me, whatever like trauma, insecurity, whatever, pretty much essentially me doing shadow work, putting that energy, not even putting it out there, me doing what I need to do to transmute that energy, mix and mingle and do what I got to do with it. I noticed that when I dissipate it to a certain level, degree, percentage, whatever you want to call it, and I feel like I've somewhat overcome that issue that I have, it comes back to me. I've talked to this about like with my therapist and things like that, but you know what I'm saying, because I don't think it's that. So it's like, let's say, all right, here's a good example because this is real. Something simple. Let's say I don't like, I never liked oranges. I've never liked the color orange necessarily. Now, I'm a huge fan. I like it. I don't like the taste necessarily, but that's really what it was for me. So like, I didn't like the taste or the thing. Like just oranges all together, which is not. It wasn't for me. So let's say I go through a scenario, and I come to terms with orange. Me and orange cool now. We can come to terms with whatever. I will now see orange play out so many ways. So if you know, I ate too much and I stop eating so much, I will now find every single person, every scenario when it comes to food, when it, temptations of it, all of it. I will, automatically like comes into my life, and it's like I have to deal with it. It almost like it's showing me, are you really like good like you say you were? Like, did you really get over this thing? Or it just shows me to show me, like, cause I don't immediately like have it in my head. Like I won't have it in my head like in that moment, but I'll have it, right? Some days, some time goes by. I got an insecurity with, we'll go on, talk to somebody, go walk outside. Everybody's gonna now want to come walk up and talk to me. Every person I know is gonna want to know what I got going on, because I finally was able to like be okay. I can talk to people, or I wasn't so mad at that person, or it wasn't that hard to do this one scenario. I think I got it. I think I got it. It will replace it and put people that are going through those same issues that I was going through in my way. Like they'll now have that issue. They'll now like not like orange. You know, it's very interesting that like when I play out something and I go through that scenario, it'll almost test me in ways to show me like this is what you were. Like I'll now see, kind of like when you see the white car. Now you always just see white cars. It was just because but I'm trying to make it to where it's not like it's in the forefront of my brain when I think about these things. It's just I have that scenario. I played it throughout, or a lot of times too when I uh have a conversation, or like most, like really not even have a conversation, when I would just be thinking of something and I'll play out a scenario in my mind. I'll have it literally with, I've had it happen multiple times with like within that day, I have that scenario come up to where I can talk about it, you know. And I think I might have written down all or nothing. because I know that it's like, I don't know, I'm not really too sure why I wrote that down. But it does go along with this one, find you and you find your enemy, I think, too. Because a lot of the times we don't know who we really are, we just think we do. Because a lot of times we come up with this whole concept that we are the body, we are, parts of us, that the body makes up. We are parts of that, or this, that, or we are the breath, or we are the spirit, or we are the thing. And I think that boils down to the same thing of you don't even know who you are as an entity, let alone how this entity interacts with the rest of the whole of everything. And like that's what I was saying with the whole astrologers need to team up with like therapists and all that. You don't even know who you are on a basic level of you think you're a body. So if you can't figure out who you are as a person or as an entity and know what you are, I would want to start there before I try to like judge somebody, because that's kind of what it is. It's like if you can't find you first, you don't know who your enemy is, because you don't know who you are fully to know you don't like that person's thing or something that someone does. A lot of the times I've noticed that people just kind of go along and ride with it. They kind of go, well, I don't really, I don't like it, but who is to say, they'll do that, because I've done that. I'll do that to the world, but like, who's to say that that's really what it is? I always like fall for someone's, the potential of somebody and go, well, maybe that's not really what it is. When you're completely having, what I'm saying, there's a detriment to your life and you are completely unaware of it. So finding yourself first, give yourself some grace, find yourself first, and then go find that enemy. But before you, or that enemy really will show up. I'm noticing that, what I'm saying, you ain't got to go look for nothing. Just like I say, if you trying to find something, if you want something, you shouldn't be looking for it. Half the time it's probably going to be there anyway, in front of you. You don't even know you got it. There's a lot of people I've seen, they say, and I was just doing something before, I forgot I had all the stuff I wanted. I forgot that I was going to do that thing, or, I was already into it. I didn't even realize that I was doing it. I was so into what I was doing that I didn't even realize that I was already accumulating what I wanted. Finding yourself first, figuring out who you are first, then figure out how you interact with everything else around you first will give you who you need to be fighting. But if you can't figure you out, you're just gonna fight you through people. You think you're not, what I'm saying? You're just gonna vicariously give it to other people, and you just beatboxing yourself up. You just don't realize that that's really what you're doing. You're just mad at yourself. You're just upset for yourself. You just, it's all you giving yourself all this energy vicariously through other people. If you can't find yourself, you can't find what is bringing you down, and even if it doesn't involve other people that you usually put yourself in harm's way of dealing with. These men out here nowadays are crying over celebrities, things, money, status, just a hold on things. They're crying over the loss of these things. These men are losing their minds because they don't have that deal anymore, because they don't have that belt anymore, because they can't see that person anymore, because that celebrity's dead or did something they weren't supposed to, and now, or they finally get to see that celebrity. I find that fascinating as fuck that these people will literally like, because it doesn't make sense to me, but that's only because, it does make sense. The issue is I've been through to where none of that matters anymore to me. I have no interest in a lot of the things that this world. Doesn't mean I don't want it. Doesn't mean I don't like having it. I love possessions. Just like I love women, like I love having fun, like I love experiencing things. The issue is you are losing some of the most vital parts of yourself, deteriorating your mind, you as an observer. You know, you're literally just bringing yourself down emotionally, physically, psychologically. You're bringing yourself down just to, or just because you're unable to prove certain parts of your lifestyle anymore. You can't prove to somebody, look, I got this. I can go get these drugs. I can go get this pack right here. I can go get this. Move this. I got clothes. I got this movement. I got this play right here. I can go this. Whatever. You can't prove that you can do that anymore. Now you no longer have that validation through that thing because you built up these, this mountain high list of validations. Oh, and now your friends going, oh, I thought you could give me that car. You said you could do you was a car dude. Oh, you could hook me up with the system. You could do the, what happened to that? Now you can't do that no more. Now we ain't friends. Now we ain't cool no more. Cause you can't provide for me like I thought you always would. I thought this tap never run out. And here we are. Tapless. You know what I'm saying? And I'm curious on how deep it really goes, because what makes a grown man? Is it really that woman? Is it really those group of people? Is the reason why you like lost yourself within you to where you can't function anymore? Like what? Like I don't get it. I mean, I wrote good, evil, and you, or good, evil, you. Um, I'm not sure if there's a difference. This one's a little tough because I think a lot about, like, there's a lot of kids out here being trafficked. There's a lot of, mainly that's what it is. I feel like a lot of adults, of course, I don't want them to have, be in these certain situations either where, you know what I mean? They can't, you know what I'm saying? Somebody's doing some shit to them and they don't want it done. But these children out here are being trafficked and having things done to them. And I think on a daily, like, that people live their lives, and I gotta get this off my chest. People live their lives on a daily, knowing that these kids are being taken and things are being done to them, and there's not really much of a, you know, it's weird because there's this whole thing with this country or with this world that we, that at least with this mainstream, that there's this air of care about us as a people. See, because this is, so you telling me, because it gets to this point to where for a fact that this is going on. These people, especially the people that we think are on our side, are doing this good for us. You telling me that I can't curse somebody out? You telling me that I can't, live and do kind of like what I want and speak how I want to speak? But these people, the same people are telling me you can't do those things, are doing horrible, horrific things. Like that part for me is that because there's this air of care, and I'll say at least for us in this country of America, that family is the utmost. And this is where I go with that reverse, backwards, whatever perverse thing again, because it's like this country says, hey, we're all about family structure, we're all about getting the job done, and hey, don't you curse and don't you be like this and don't you You better not talk to this woman like that. She is your superior. She is, she is your higher up. You do not talk to him like this. You do not do these things to them. You don't call these motherfuckers out for what they really are. Why would you slander the name like this? Why would you put them on blast like that? But we're supposed to be founded on justice and integrities and all this other stuff. And once again, it's the exact opposite. It's backwards as fuck. It's not real. None of these people really mean it. But if I don't call you what if I don't, give you what you need as a country, as a people, whatever you want to call it, if I don't give you what you want, I'm vilified. But if I tell you, hey man, there's people doing some crazy stuff out here to these kids, we need to do something about this and bring more of awareness. A girl or a person, woman, or whatever, will text me back quicker or comment back quicker, I'll say, to some negative stuff. Let me know something. People will let me know about nonsensical things. They'll give me stuff back and it has nothing to do with nothing. I think I put all this on blast in my head because it's like, this is where we're at. These people live their lives on a daily and are unaware of what's really going on around them. And it's scary as fuck because it's not like we're having conversations about, like I would think I would hear more people go, oh, you making a ridiculous comment like that, what about these wars? What about these kids? What about trafficking and adrenochrome? And what about all this stuff about these people being tortured and stuff like this to get all this out? That's the process. It has to be done. So there's no way out of on a daily, some kid is being tortured. Somebody is, what I'm saying? And it's just, I don't get it. Because I can't get it out of my head. No matter how much I want to. So it bothers me to a degree. Like, I don't get it. I don't get why, like I said, so that and that's why I was going to the whole thing of, because I didn't really get a chance because of the whole memory thing of where we're at as a whole, as humans, or whatever these creatures are, where we're at. We are not building ourselves to teach people how to be something more. Like I told you, there's coaches, there's trainers, there's not enough teachers. We aren't elevating somebody to, from a coach, trainer, I don't know which one would be less or more, but into 1, 2, 3 trainer. I mean, teacher, and what can we do something higher than teacher, to where this person is wrangling these people to do this with these people. And we can call that something because, like I said, we need to get therapists and spiritualists, right? So this person can be a new thing now. So now we don't just have teachers, we have, wranglers of some sort to get, we have these, what I'm saying? Like whatever you would call it, principles but in a different, what I'm saying, to go, hey, but nobody's elevating to that. There's always a certain point where it kind of caps off and you just teach, therapists, you just teach doctors, you just teach people how to do your craft. You don't teach people how to take your craft, take that from somebody else, add that on the knowledge, take that new thing, give it off to that and teach them that. Bring up a whole new category of what being a doctor is, a therapist or, anything. I don't think there's enough of that going on to where we elevate past. It's usually, well, now I'm just your manager. I manage with doctor. Not, we come up with a new term that we don't just have doctors anymore. And now we don't need the term doctor. We have this new thing that are doctors, but they have a new awareness about them. I don't think I don't see that. I see, well, I'm gonna be a nurse and we nurses and that's all I am. And I can be a better nurse. I can do different nurse things, but I can't go past the realm of a nurse. I can't go hold this branch of nurse and then there's this branch of nurse and that branch of nurse to where you're not a nurse anymore. You're not just a doctor anymore. And I know it's like that is, you branch out of medical at some certain point to where you messing with rocks and don't know why you messing with rocks, but it teaches you how to be cool with, you know what I'm saying? Kind of what already what astrology is and stuff like that. But you know what I'm saying? There's more to it. You just I just don't I just think it's odd that that's the best we can do is just be that thing and not, okay, well, we already know that these people can do that. Let's teach the bums and the people how to be doctors, a real, simple form of it, and then we can teach them how to arts and crafts their way up, and then they can get credit for that, a trade or something, some type of trade credit. But we have to start putting these people. Okay, well, you know what I'm saying, we get some people that don't that are willing. They're on a program to get off the drugs, to do this, that, and the third. And now let's get them to where they just alcohol wipers. That's all they do. They just do alcohol, or they just do this. And you get them in the environment. Okay, well, now you're here you're here. You know what I'm saying? You're no longer on the streets. You got you a job, and all you do is do alcohol wipes. Before you know it, if you want to go, you can help and be a nurse's assistant. You know what I'm saying? Or something like that. But to say that because I'm saying is that if we don't start getting to a point to where, because it seems like I said, there's always a cap, and that we're not getting people to, okay, we don't need as many doctors. We got these select group of people, families, things to where they crushing it, and we don't need that many of this, that. So now we can take these doctors, place them here, we fixing them. And now those people we fixing have an idea of how they can fix somebody. We educate them and get those classes for real, instead of just like it's a legit class. Like you can sign up, you can be put on, you can whatever, and then have that person. Because I just don't like how we don't have enough people educated on their own ailments, their own issues. Like it's not enough. Just like I don't think there's enough, because people can say, there's people out there, but I don't think cops are educated enough either. I don't think there's enough time for teachers, for anybody. And so I don't think we have enough for that alone, but I think it would help if we could start taking the load off so these people can have more. But they're so swept up by all the there's just not enough people to help work them, to work the job that they're in. I mean, I hear all the time that people need more people and more pay to, and less stress. But, and I think that comes from us not elevating ourselves to stop being these things just to go get a degree to be this thing. That's all you're doing it for. You're regurgitating the same knowledge. You're not branching out to learn anything else but this thing, and you're content with that. And it's like, that's cool and all. But if we can't branch into more spiritual things first, we're always going to be stuck. Being able to know, okay, well, I know how to stick somebody's arm. I know how to cut somebody open. I know how to. And it's like, I think that's why we're so slow on a lot of advancements. It's like, that's all we know we need to do. There's no more outside of that thing that we need to do. So. Yeah. That might be it. I wanted to just try to cram as much as I could into this one because, it's already been like 2 days. I mean, I could split them, but I just don't feel like splitting them. I always feel like there ain't no way I can run out of knowledge. You know what I'm saying? There's always something to talk about. Even if it ain't really knowledge, me just wanting to talk. uh, yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Finding you first. You know, I noticed as quick as I could. You know, it was a lot easier for me to make decisions once I found out, like through astrology and things, more about myself. That it was a lot. Yeah, it was quick. I was quicker to bounce ideas off, see who, you know, what's what and who's who through those ideas. Oh, I didn't really the good, evil, and you. What was I gonna say about that too? Because it was like for me, it was it seems, at least for me, like I was saying, at least for me, I have a lot of options on what I want to choose to do, and a lot of those mistakes. Like, see, that's a tough one. I think I'm gonna hold off on that one and think on that a little more. I had an idea, and see, and this is what sucks. I had a good, what I wanted to do, but it's been a couple days. Yeah, I'm gonna think on that one again though, but it's hard to say. But I don't think there's much of a difference between good, bad, and all of the other stuff. It seems like it's all the same. Oh, I think I wanted to go on the whole thing because there was some, I don't know if Dolo talked about it and something like that. But, and it made me question, because I'm like, well, if you do something, yeah, I believe it was him, but if you do something, like let's say you kill somebody, you come back as a baby, you get tortured, maimed, killed, like let's say, like that's what I'm saying. So let's say Hitler got, you know what I'm saying, reborn, but this time, because the first chance, because they even said it just like Bush, he had a chance to get, blapped up real quick, and the dude let him go for whatever reasons, right? So that was his opportunity to, I would think, change, make a difference, take on the fact that holy crap, some dude that was supposed to kill me didn't. He chose not to. Let me go out and now make a real difference in life, which kind of, that's really what it was. But let me make a difference in life, right? Clearly, that difference was not in the favor of a lot of people. So he dies. Do I feel bad for him as a baby? Do I feel bad for him as a kid, as a child? That spirit coming back into another body and him being just, you know what I mean? Completely desecrated. Just treated like crap. If we're spirits coming back and it ain't no YOLO, and we really keep coming back here until we really figure this whole thing out, it was Ram Dass too. So how does that work? Because if everything is everything, because he was talking about that too. Oh well, all this stuff, because I go through it too. It's like, damn, bro. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't like. So it's like, so how do you deal with that? And he was like, well, everything is everything type of deal, and it's all good. And it's like, even if there's a lot of atrocities in the world, it's all working out the way it's supposed to. And I've always kind of questioned what he meant by that, really. And he might have said it, I just didn't remember it too. But I've always questioned what he meant by that. I'm like, where are you coming from with? So is it, that's the only conclusion I'm starting to come with. It's like, if Hitler died and he's now being tortured as a kid, as a baby, and then, he's got to go through this hell every single time. Because let's say he dies again as a kid, something happens to him, blah, blah, blah. How many times until he gets an opportunity to really see what he was doing that was not cool, to then be able to, like, go on this new path at some point to where, you know, he's not going through hell anymore. Because he's able to see that he's going to continue to go through these lifetimes and be tortured, and all this stuff is going to happen to him over and 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 over again. Does that mean also that all the people that are doing really well get less of a spiritual ass whooping on a percentage scale? Like their load is lightened up enough to where, you know, you do go through some harsh times, hard times, but you kind of have an easier time to be able to maintain it. Like your daddy don't slap you upside your head as hard, you know. Because I've questioned that too with my mama. I've asked her that, like, when I was a kid. I just wondered, like, what? So what? If God, like, how does he punish you? Or how does he get at you? Like, how does God or Satan or whatever, you know, whoever, I don't know, whatever energies. I didn't, you know what I'm saying? That I'm thinking like this as, you know, you do something, because we've had it all happen. We have it happen, and I be questioning shit like this. How that work? Where you say something, you know what I'm saying? When you move, you know, whatever, and you trip and bust your head or something, you cracking, you know, hurt your knee knuckle or something like that. What happened? You know what I'm saying? Was that really like, you know, like the whole deal where you eat a bunch and you tease people for eating, and before you know it, 2, 3, 4 years down the road, you fat, you know, you full 500 pounds. Yeah, I'd be wondering, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, you stub your toe, but you know you was thinking something you weren't supposed to be thinking and doing. Like, and it'd be immediate. Like, immediately after you, like, man, you know, whatever that, bow. You know what I mean? What is it? I've always questioned that. Like, is that God punishing you? Is that how that works? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think with the all or nothing, I think I was just saying, like, you know, you kind of have to give all that energy. I don't think you can really, like, play that, you know, teeter-totter on the fence game. You know, you kind of have to, like, if you're going to do it, you know. That's pretty much all I wrote so far. I mean, on this one, at least. We did it. And in half the time. Usually I'd be on here for a whole another hour. But this seems like a good time. I'm gonna chill right here. There ain't no pause. Is it on that side?